Hi everybody, welcome back. This has been a long time coming. I've been sitting with all of these sunscreens on my table, taking up a lot of space, me knocking them over for like a month now because I'm just sitting there. I'm like, is this my top shelf? I don't know. It's such a hard choice. But I think what I want to say about this is because I feel like people are going to ask me, and this is my current situation. I am a sunscreen hoarder, yes, but I also do declutter quite often. Either they're expired or I just know I'm not going to use it. Maybe a friend will like it better, or I just don't like it. So those sunscreens are not in my life, so I can't say that they're my top shelf. Maybe they've been a favorite in the past, but if I haven't chosen to repurchase it, honestly, it doesn't say a lot about the product always, just because like I can't repurchase a sunscreen when I have this many. But there are exceptions to the rule, because there are some that I have repurchased regardless of how many sunscreens I owned. So that tells you something. But I just want to make that really big caveat that, like, if you're asking like, but you said that you loved this sunscreen and you didn't mention it. This is my current top shelf. What I'm reaching for at the moment. I cannot reach for something I don't own. So this is what I'm reaching for. Doesn't mean that it's my very favorite of all time, but usually they're pretty good. So with all that said, we're gonna jump in. I tried my hardest to narrow it down. Some categories have more than I wanted, but it's just so hard. And I wanted to make sure that there are sunscreens that people in Europe can get, people in America can get, people outside of Europe and the US can get. So trying to make it accessible for most people, because I do understand that a lot of sunscreens that are only available in the US are just very hard to get outside of the US. So that said, we're gonna jump in. If you do like this type of video, if you appreciate my work, please give it a like, consider subscribing, and we'll get going. We're going to start with kind of, I feel like the most popular categories first. And I would say number one, at least for me, is your everyday sunscreen. Now, for me, everyday means pretty much chemical. If you are an everyday mineral sunscreen kind of girl or boy, just wait, that's coming. But for me, my most reached for product is something that I just don't have to think about. I can put on easily. I can put makeup on over top or not. I can go out, maybe if I need it to be waterproof, it's waterproof, but maybe if I don't want it to be waterproof, it's not. So that's what that category is. And I have 5. So many. Let's start with my probably most repurchased sunscreen, probably of all time. This is the La Roche-Posay Anthelios UV Immune 400. You've seen it if you've seen any of my other videos. This is a stunner. It retails for about $25. You can get it in the US pretty easily. There are quite a few different websites. It is 1.7 fluid ounces or 50 milliliters. It is a fluid liquid formula. I'm not going to be putting these on today. I will be inserting some what we call B-roll footage of each one, so you can see the consistency there. But this is my favorite. It's just a wonderful high protection sunscreen, easy to put on. It does have like a little bit of a like almost banana yellowish tint. This is a new bottle, but when the bottle is almost done with, just because like my hands get dirty, it will be kind of tinted with yellow. So some people don't like that, but I don't mind it. It doesn't really show up on my skin tone. It's just the best if you want high protection. It's not waterproof though, so that is kind of one downside. And now that I'm looking at my everyday ones, I don't think any of them are sunscreen or waterproof, but that's kind of by design. I don't really want waterproof if I'm not going about water sports or like sweating. So, all right, I'm gonna have to move faster through this, but the next one I have is the Hara Hara Wonder. This is the SPF 50 PA+, 4 pluses. This is from Korea. This is another stunner. It has a little bit more of a dry, not matte, but like more matte finish than the La Roche-Posay. The La Roche-Posay has, I would say, like a little bit of a glowy natural finish. This one has a little bit of a more matte consistency, and it is going to work for skin tones that are a little bit more oily. It is rich though. That's the interesting thing. The texture is heavier, and you'll see in the B-roll, it's a heavier consistency. It is thicker, so it really doubles as your moisturizer. and it still leaves your face very natural / matte looking. And it's the super high protection. It retails for $19. You get the normal amount. And it's just one of those ones that has made it swiftly into my favorites this year, and I cannot stop talking about. I'm gonna take some of them out just because I really do need to boil it down to like top 3 or 4, maybe 4. The next one that came in is another longtime favorite. This is the Mad About Skin Protect and Hydrate SPF 50. This is from a YouTube and like TikTok creator, and he has a brand called Mad About Skin. He also has a channel. They are rebranding. I think it's coming out soon. By the time this video goes live, it'll probably be live, their new rebrand. So I don't know what this will look like, if they've reformulated it entirely or just the packaging. But this sunscreen is my second bottle, so another one that I've repurchased. You'll see my favorites I do repurchase. This gives you such good skin protection. I wore this when I was in like, what was it? I don't know. Cusco. I forget how high it is, but you're like pretty high up and in the sun all day, out like at ruins and everything. And I didn't get burned at all, like no sun on my face. And I didn't even reapply. So super high protection. It also has a little bit more of a natural matte finish. Not, again, like not matte drying, just not glowy. So that's why I like it. I like that I can just put it on and no one is looking at my face like, why do you look like a disco ball? So again, a longtime favorite. I'm excited to see their rebrand and see what it looks like, but this is in my everyday collection. And honestly, I should have stopped at 3, but I couldn't help myself. This is the Mix Soon sunscreen. This is rather new to me, but has been a heavy favorite. This sunscreen is SPF 50. It retails for about $19. So again, kind of the same price as the Haru Haru Wonder. And it's very similar to the Haru Haru Wonder. I feel like they're like cousins, but I like the texture of this actually better. It has this gel texture, so it's not as heavy and like kind of thick feeling. So for me in the summertime, this is maybe a little bit more enjoyable than the Haru Haru Wonder. And it still gives me that natural kind of, I wouldn't say matte finish, but just natural finish. So easy to apply. You don't have to think about it. And again, most Korean sunscreens are gonna give you some of the best protection. I just love this. The only downside I would say is it is scented, and I think that could be a little off-putting for some people, maybe if you have sensitized skin as well. So, but it's a favorite if you don't mind that kind of thing. All right, for my friends now that want their everyday sunscreen to be mineral or just want their sunscreen to be mineral, I've got some options for you. So the first one I have is the In Beauty Project Mineral Sun Glow. This retails for $35. So we have kind of jumped dramatically in prices. We were in the 20s before. Tends to be the case. I feel like mineral sunscreens tend to be more expensive as they get more elegant, and this is elegant. It comes in 2 shades. I have the lighter of the 2 shades. I think all of these are your standard amount, so 50 milliliters or 1.7 fluid ounces. I will let you know if they are bigger, but from now on, let's just assume they're all the standard size. And this one does give you a glow, but it doesn't feel like greasy on your skin, because sometimes that grease or that glow is grease, or like it's just too moisturizing. This one you can definitely, if you have like normal to combo skin, you can still wear this. What I do when I do that is I don't put a lot of skincare underneath, and I will powder definitely in the T-zone, and then it's fine. And as the day wears on, you're gonna, like most mineral sunscreens do, kind of dry down a little bit, or like even dry out your skin. That's part of mineral filters. But this one doesn't feel too drying. It just feels like that perfect combination where I do want some glow, and I maybe want a little bit of pigment, because it does have some pigment, but I don't want my face to be an oil slick. So this is what I go for. Beautiful, beautiful sunscreen. Next up, another repurchase. This is the Summer Fridays. This retails for $36. I have talked about this for years now. I love this sunscreen. It's very similar to the K-Skin one that just came out, and the formulas are like, I did a whole video on that, I'll link it above. The formulas are almost exactly the same, but I still prefer this one over the K-Skin. Some people, it does irritate their skin. I can't explain why. It's usually just one ingredient or a few ingredients, but if you have not had like a irritation to it or anything, this is one of those mineral fluid sunscreens that is easy to apply, enjoyable to apply, doesn't have a cast really, gives you, SPF 30, not the highest protection, but like an everyday sunscreen, it's a good amount of protection. It wears beautifully underneath makeup. I think it's one of those ones that when I really just want no frills, like my other chemical everyday, this is what I reach for. So this is the one that like doesn't give me that super glowy look, kind of like the In Beauty. It just gives me a natural, very normal skin tone and like not a lot of shine, which is what I look for. If you do want more shine, don't worry, I got those coming up, but this is my mineral one that I really do reach for. And last one that I have with me is the Lightsaber. I've talked about this for a long time now. I have a full-length video on it. I will link it above. Also, for most of these, if you do want to see the full video where I do the whole application and all of it, just search my channel because I pretty much have reviews on all of them, or they are coming soon. But this one is another smaller, well, I guess I haven't reviewed any smaller, but this is by a smaller brand. They actually just launched in Sephora, which is amazing. And I have been singing this sunscreen's praises for a long, long time. Now, it's not cheap. It retails for $45. And I think that's actually the most expensive that I have on this list, but it is worth it. It has a tint that works, I would say, on pretty much all skin tones. And it has this matte feel to it where it's not too drying, and the texture of it is incredible. More of a matte texture, a little bit like silicone-y to the touch, but nothing too aggressive, if you will, like not too matte and not too silicone-y. And I just really appreciate the tone of this because sometimes, a lot of times, when you have a tinted mineral sunscreen, the tint is what is the problem. It's either too yellow, too orange, too dark, too light, but this feels just like a neutral shade that works for all skin tones. I mean, I can't speak for all skin tones, but I feel like it will. And I just think that it's an amazing sunscreen and they've done a wonderful job. The other one I will give an honorable mention to because I have bought multiple bottles of it is the Live Tinted Hue Guard. I'll insert a picture here. That one is another, it's more of a fluid sunscreen, and it does give you a little bit more glow if you do have drier skin. So I think if you're looking for a mineral sunscreen but you do have drier skin, out of the ones that I mentioned, I would say the In Beauty Project and then the Live Tinted are two really good options. Whereas the Summer Fridays and the Lightsaber are more for like normal combo oily skin. So there we go. Okay, we're gonna do two more categories, and those categories are matte and glowy. So we did chemical, mineral, matte, glowy. I think that works perfectly. For the matte one, I've already talked about it. It's the Lightsaber. There are just not a lot of matte sunscreens out these days. And the ones that are out, I don't love all of them. A lot of the times they just feel like very drying on my face, or they don't feel as elegant as I want, or the tint is wrong. So for all those reasons, I continue to go back to the Lightsaber. It's, again, I'm not gonna go through all of the pluses of it. Go look at the video. I've already talked about it here, but it's just a wonderful sunscreen, and you can pick it up at Sephora. So if you're just kind of like wanting that 2-day delivery, this is a good option. The other one, this is newer to me and I'm so excited for it. This is the Minori. This one, I wouldn't say is 100% matte, but you can easily make it matte. So right now, I have it on my face and I'm under studio lighting and I don't have a lot of glow. I have it just as my moisturizer and my sunscreen, and then I have a little bit of blush and highlighter. So if you're seeing a glow, it's from the blush and the highlighter. But this brand, if you want and you have maybe more oily skin, I would use this alone, no moisturizer. And then if you really truly are gonna get oily throughout the day, just powder, and you're gonna have a matte sunscreen. For those of you with more normal or dry skin, you're gonna want to use your moisturizer or your skincare underneath, or you can do without, and you're gonna have this beautiful, perfect, matte-ish look. It's just a natural look to your skin. It has this banana tint to it, so it's gonna work on a lot of skin tones. I have just done a video on this whole brand. They are a small women-owned business, so I love to support that kind of brand, and they've done an absolutely stellar job with this mineral sunscreen that is also more on the natural matte side. So can't rave enough about this. That's what I'm wearing today, I just mentioned, and do love it a lot. And I forgot to mention the Minori is $28, so it's pretty middle of the road in terms of price. Okay, let's move on to glowy now. And I have the first one up. I feel like this won't be a surprise to many people, but this is the Skin 1004. I don't know how you say that. 1004? 1104? I don't know. Madagascar Centella Hyaluronic Water Fit Sun Serum. Another Korean sunscreen. This just gives you the most natural, I feel like glass skin look. Really moisturizing. Feels like skincare more than anything. It's easy to apply. It's affordable. It comes in at $12, which is insane. And just one of those ones where if you have more dry skin and you just want something simple and easy, this is it. This is the one you get. Pick it up from YesStyle or Stylevana. Don't purchase these on Amazon. I really advise people to steer away from them because Amazon has so many fakes. It's just not worth it. But if you want a high protection, glowy sunscreen, this is going to be one of the best ones that I can recommend. And you can just, I feel like you can't go wrong with it. Another one from Japan this time. This is the Biore UV Aqua Riche Watery Essence. So this packaging is very interesting. I don't know if all of this brand comes like this. They normally come in like a more normal packaging, but this is another one that is spectacular. Now, I will kind of preface this by saying this one has a little bit more denatured alcohol. So some people, their skin doesn't like it, they don't like it. Over continual use, they don't like it. So if that's you, I would stick with the other sunscreen that I just mentioned. But I like this for that true, again, glass skin. Like you're thinking like you're gonna be shining from the moon kind of thing, or shining to the moon, I don't know. That's what I reach for. And it's also so easy. I mean, like every Korean one is gonna be easy. No eye stain, no scent to it, and just gives me that very youthful glow that I'm looking for when I'm looking for a glow. Also, this is 105 milliliters, so $12 for 105 milliliters. You're getting a lot of product for not a lot of price, and it's just one of those ones that it will help you look radiant and glowing with pretty much no effort at all. Okay, as you can see, we have our swatches, and I will go in order. The first one that is very runny is the La Roche-Posay UV Immune. And then the second one is the Haru Haru Wonder. Third up, we have the Mad About Skin. Next is the Mixun Centella. And then we have the In Beauty Project. After that, we have Summer Fridays. Then we have the Lightsaber. Then we have the Minori. Then we have the Skin 1004. And last up is the Biore. So you can see undertones, and you can see, especially with the chemical ones, you can see some of the texture. The ones that have a little bit more of a tint are the In Beauty Project. This is the Lightsaber, and then the Minori. These two have a little bit more of an actual tint, but I would say they're minimal. And then the Minori is that banana kind of coloring, which is actually the same as the Summer Fridays. Okay guys, so I was thinking that I was gonna do all of the categories today, and I just realized that's gonna be like the longest video ever. So this is part one. I will do part two and put that out as well. But I feel like these are the categories. The first one, those 4 categories are the ones people ask me about a lot. So those are my top shelf. That's what I'm reaching for. And I hope you kind of got a glimpse into what I look for and what I like in a product. Like I said, just go and check my channel for the full length on most of them. I have a lot of videos out there. So you can go view the details there and let me know what you think. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.